Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. And this is the show where we preview upcoming releases in the theaters as well as TV. How are we doing out there? We've reached pretty much the end of January. We're blazing along, and as always, time is flying by. I mean, my God, people, it feels like Christmas was last week. And here we are about to enter the second month of 2023. But before we get into February, we have a few new releases coming out this upcoming weekend on TV as well as the big screen. Actually, I think there's only one that's coming out on the big screen, but everything else will be in your homes. Uh, let's start off with a TV show, and this show I'm very excited about because it's coming from the mind of Rian Johnson, who just gave us Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery over on Netflix. He also did Knives Out, of course, Looper, Brick, for better or worse, The Last Jedi. But he is a murder mystery master, I think. Up to this point. I think he earned that with Knives Out and Glass Onion. Those were two well-made murder mystery films, and uh he's coming with a series that's going to premiere on Peacock this Thursday, January the 26th, and it is called Poker Face. And it is described as a uh case of the week mystery comedy drama. And I'm all for it. And it's, he's basically given the format of the old show Columbo. If anybody remembers that with Peter Falk. Uh that old show from I don't know what 70s, 80s. I don't even remember. I know I watched it in reruns. So I don't know if it actually came out uh when I was watching it. Never really gave it much research, but this is the style that this show will be presented in. He didn't give any other descriptions of the show, and that's fine with me. I don't need to know, but there will be a lot of guest stars appearing in this show. But the main star of this show is Natasha Lyonne, who you may know from Orange is the New Black, uh, but I'm a cheerleader and the American Pie films. Very, very funny actress. I really enjoy her. She has that raspy voice, you know. I really enjoy Natasha Lyonne. In everything that she does, and she is the star as well as the executive producer of this series, and I'm all for it. I love a mystery of the week type of format. That's interesting to me. That's fun to me, and especially if it's going to be kind of a comedy slash drama type series coming from the mind of Rian Johnson, who is directing a few episodes. He's not directing every single episode. There are 10 episodes total, but he did direct the first two, and I think he directs either the last one or the second to last one, however it may go. But this Thursday, it premieres on Peacock, and the first four episodes will drop this Thursday. The rest will come out week to week. So, Poker Face premieres on Peacock January the 26th. Can't wait. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow now that I think about it. So we don't have to wait very long. All right, let's go to our one theatrical release this week, and it is a horror film. And this comes from the mind of Deon Taylor, who has given us such classics. And I say that loosely as Meet the Blacks, uh Meet the Blacks too. But he did make Black and Blue, which I enjoyed. Um Fatale with Hilary Swank. Uh, that was an interesting film, and some other films as well. But this is a horror film, which is based on everybody's phobias. Is different phobias going on. They didn't release a synopsis of this film, but uh it did look interesting with the trailer. Attacking certain people. It's like a group of friends goes to, and I'm just describing what the trailer described. A group of friends get together like in this cabin or something, and they all have to list their fears, their different fears, what they're afraid of. And throughout the night or however long they're there, each person, each person's phobia attacks them. Some is claustrophobia, and they're trapped in like a tight space or something like that, or the other one's arachnophobia, and it might be spiders, stuff like that. And it's a very interesting concept, and it looks scary as I don't know what. And so, especially if you have certain phobias. So that's pretty much all I have about it. The film stars Joseph Sequoia, who we all know as Tommy on Power, as well as T.I. is in this film. So yeah, it's worth a look. See, like I said, it has my interest. It has my interest just for that reason that all these phobias are attacking people. And I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That's the sign of a good horror film, when you don't want to be in that situation. And in this case, I do not want to be in that situation because I have a plethora of phobias. Frogs being number one. Can't stand frogs. I know that seems crazy, but I have a phobia of frogs. Of course, I'm claustrophobic, and uh I have other phobias, but I'm not gonna. I think I've said enough because I'm starting to freak myself out. Fear will be released in theaters this Friday, January the 27th. Over on Prime Video, we have a romantic action comedy, and it looks cute. This looks like a film that is, no pun intended, primed for streaming. This looks like something you definitely see at home, cuddled up with your loved one, and just want to sit down at the evening, and after you've eaten, curl up, watch a movie. This will be it, and it is Shotgun Wedding, and like I said, it looks just ridiculous, but it looks cute. You know, you have two of the world's most beautiful people starring in this film with Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel, and they play a couple. Here's the synopsis: Darcy and Tom get their lovable but very opinionated families for the ultimate destination wedding. Just as the couple gets cold feet, the entire wedding party is taken hostage. The couple must work together to save their loved ones if they don't end up killing each other first. This looks just completely ridiculous, but it looks like a fun little film to watch. I like Josh Duhamel, I really do, and I wish Josh Duhamel would get more. You know what I'm saying? I I'm one of the rare people who enjoyed that show on Netflix with the superheroes. I think it was Jupiter's Legacy. I'm one of the rare people who actually liked that show. Um, they canceled it after one season, and I was really disappointed because I was trying to figure out why. But then I read the reviews and people's comments about the show. They didn't like it. They thought it was stupid. I was like, man, I need to check my taste. Because I enjoyed that show. I thought it was an interesting take on a superhero genre, and Josh Duhamel was one of the main stars of that, and he really fit the superhero. I always wanted to see him as a superhero, and he really fit that role along with everybody else in that cast. I'm really hurt by that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm hurt that they canceled Jupiter's Legacy. But he's still working, thank God. And Shotgun Wedding looks like the perfect little film. You know, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez has her limitations as an actress. Some may say as a singer too, but she can give you something every now and then. It just looks like they both having fun with this role. And if the actors are having fun with this role, that tells me that this is going to be a fun movie. Shotgun Wedding will shoot through your television. That was a bad pun. That was a failed attempt at humor there. But anyway, it will drop on Prime Video this Friday, January the 26th. All right, over on Paramount Plus, we have another film. And this may confuse a lot of people, but this is a film that's based on a TV show that is based on a film. And this is Teen Wolf, the movie. No, I'm not talking about the 1980s classic that starred Michael J. Fox. No, that was the original that the show was based off of. And the show was more of a serious take of that movie. And now we're getting the movie based off of the show with all the returning cast from the television series that premiered on MTV. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I never watched one episode of Teen Wolf. I watched the movie, loved the movie. I watched the movie a million and one times. I even watched that horrible sequel that starred Jason Bateman. But I have not watched one single episode of Teen Wolf. And it's not because it looked bad or anything. I just had zero interest in it. I didn't feel the need for a updated reboot to Teen Wolf, at least coming on MTV. You know, it feels like, to me, and this is the vibe I got, that's why I didn't watch it. It looked like a CW show. And I'm not, I cannot stand watching CW shows. With the exception of Supernatural. Love Supernatural. Supernatural is probably one of the best shows of the last 20 years of all networks. Supernatural was gold. I don't like anything else. And this is coming from a superhero comic book nut. I didn't even like the Arrowverse that much. I watched it. And I enjoyed a couple of seasons of The Flash. I enjoyed a couple of seasons of Arrow. But the rest was like, oh, it was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. But that's the CW I'm talking about. This, it just had the vibes of a CW show. But a lot of friends of mine enjoyed that show. I had a friend, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he used to tell me about the show, and he talked about it like it was pure greatness. But I still never watched the show. But the movie looks interesting. I saw the trailer, and I was kind of, my curiosity was piqued. I was like, okay, this looks like something to watch. But at the same time, I don't want to dive into it because I never watched the show. I feel I'm gonna be lost. But here's the synopsis. A full moon rises in Beacon Hills, and with it, a terrifying evil has emerged. The wolves are howling once again, calling for the return of banshees, were-coyotes, hellhounds, and every other shapeshifter of the night. But only a werewolf like Scott McCall, no longer a teenager, yet still an alpha, can gather both new allies and reunite trusted friends to fight back against what could be the most powerful and deadliest enemy they've ever faced. That has my interest. But I'm going to try to watch it, but hopefully I won't be too lost. But we shall see. Teen Wolf the movie will drop on Paramount Plus this Thursday, tomorrow, January the 26th. Now, let's get to the big daddy of the weekend. The most anticipated film of the weekend, in my humble opinion, a film that stars Jonah Hill and the great Eddie Murphy, and it is entitled You People, which will drop on Netflix this Friday, January the 27th. This looks like a return to form for Eddie Murphy. This looks like a film that is tailor made for Eddie Murphy. I have been waiting, just like millions of his fans, for the old Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm talking about? The old raw, delirious Beverly Hills Street. You know, trading places. We've been waiting for the return of that Eddie Murphy. Now, I don't know if we're actually going to get that particular Eddie Murphy in this particular film, but he's surrounded by great talent. Now, I'm saying that as if Eddie Murphy hasn't been delivering any good movies as of late. He has. My Name is Dolomite was an amazing movie that came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed him in that movie. But he was outshined in that film by Wesley Snipes, of all people. Wesley Snipes was the funniest person in that movie. But Eddie Murphy had a great performance in that film. Um, Coming to America, did not like. I did not like anything about that film. And that film was written by Kenya Barris. And Kenya Barris, we all probably are familiar with his work. Blackish, which is a good show. I enjoy that. But nothing else from Kenya Barris. I, I I I never watched Grownish. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I can't. I don't like. I never watched it, so I don't know. But I did watch Blackish. It was good. Uh, that Netflix show that he did with Rashida Jones was not funny. It wasn't. I did not laugh not one time on that show. He co-wrote the that last Shaft film with Samuel L. Jackson and Jesse Usher, I believe. It was a train wreck, and like I said, he also wrote Coming to America, the sequel, and it was a train wreck. But he did do Intergalactic. He didn't write it or direct it. He produced it, and Intergalactic, which is on Netflix, came out last year. It was one of my favorite films to come out last year. A welcoming surprise, well made film, animated film, and I really enjoyed that. And when I saw that his name was on it, it blew my mind. It really blew my mind. But we fast forward to now, and we have You People. Not only is Kenya Barris co-writing this film, he's directing this film. He's co-writing it with the star Jonah Hill, who, man, look, Jonah Hill has been knocking it out of the park since Superbad, man. Jonah Hill is one of the funniest actors in Hollywood. You know, even his dramatic terms when he go in Moneyball and Wolf of Wall Street, which that really wasn't a drama. That was more of a comedy too. But he does do good drama work. He is a real good actor. I really have grown to admire Jonah Hill on so many levels. Love his work. Well, he stars in this film, and the plot of this film is a new couple and their families reckon with modern love and cultural clashes, social expectations, and generational differences. Basically, Jonah Hill plays a young Jewish man, and he begins dating this black girl, and he decides he wants to marry her, and insanity ensues. The young lady he falls in love with is portrayed by Laura London. Her parents are Nia Long and Eddie Murphy. And so he has to win them over. And then we have Jonah Hill's parents, who are portrayed by Julia Louise Dreyfus, who we all know from Seinfeld and many other Veep and many more. She's popped up in the MCU as of late. And his father is played by David Duchovny, who we all know from the X-Files. And man, it's just a comedy that ensues between this black family and this Jewish family. And it's funny in a way how this film came about now. Where this is like a poignant thing now. You know, if you have your ear to the streets and you know the comments from Kyrie Irving as of late and Kanye West, and there's just this big rift between the black community and the Jewish community. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I am completely naive to all of this. I don't know anything about this rip. To be 100% honest with you, I don't know too many Jewish people. Uh, and it's not because I'm standoff from them. I just don't know any of them. I probably do and don't know I do, but it's never been a thing with me. I never known that there was tension between the two communities. I did not know that until I did a little research on it and found out that there is. But maybe this film will kind of bridge the gap, if you will, you know, between these two communities and address some issues. That's one thing I can say about Kenya Burrs. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of his work, but if I am a big fan of Blackish, and the way he tackles social issues on that show and doing it in a funny yet poignant way is genius to me. You know, and that's why you you constantly give somebody like Kenya Burrs more opportunities because he's shown his genius. He really is a smart man. I've watched interviews with him or listened to interviews from him, and he's very intelligent, very smart. I really enjoy listening to him. It's just some of his works I'm not a big fan of, but that doesn't mean I don't like the person because I really do like the stuff he be talking about. You know, it's really interesting and he's intelligent. So if he tackles this in an intelligent way, maybe that can help with this so-called tension. Like I said before, this film stars Jonah Hill, uh, Eddie Murphy, Julia Louise Dreyfus, Laura London, Nia Long, David Duchovny, Sam Jade, Mike Epps, Dion Cole, Rhea Perlman is in this thing. Lala Anthony is in this thing. Man, look, I am super excited for this film. Looks like it's gonna be funny as I don't know what, and that's what I need. I need this, and I really need a real good Eddie Murphy comedy. I've been dying for this for decades. It feels like, uh, all Norbit aside. I remember going to see Norbit, thinking that was gonna be it. That's the return of Eddie Murphy, and was I, boy, was I wrong. But you people will be releasing on Netflix this Friday, January the 27th. All right, so those are your can't waits for this week. We have Poker Face dropping on Peacock this Thursday, January the 26th. Fear releasing in theaters this Friday, January the 27th. Shotgun Wedding on Prime Video this Friday, January the 27th. Teen Wolf the movie dropping on Paramount Plus this Thursday, January the 26th. And last but certainly not least, You People dropping on Netflix this Friday, January the 27th. Which one are you just over the moon excited about this week? Let me know by emailing the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can look me up on Twitter at KB Radio Network and on other social media platforms. Just look up the KB Radio Network. Don't forget about the 5 stars and reviews and sharing the show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever it is you're listening to. Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. Thank you all for joining me this week for this episode. Can't wait to speak to you next week when we review even more films coming out. As always, want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.